Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Any process whereby sounds or words are left out of spoken words or phrases. A mistake resulting from neglect. Neglecting to do something, leaving out or passing over something. Something that has been omitted. She searched the table for omissions. The omission that is made when an editorial change shortens a written passage. An editor's deletions frequently upset young authors. Any process whereby sounds or words are left out of spoken words or phrases. Genetics, the loss or absence of one or more nucleotides from a chromosome. The act of deleting something written or printed. Jump lightly. Bypass. He skipped a row in the text and so the sentence was incomprehensible. A mistake resulting from neglect. Bound off one point after another. Leave suddenly. Skip town. Cause to skip over a surface. Intentionally fail to attend. A gait in which steps and hops alternate. The cognitive processes involved in producing and understanding linguistic communication. A process involved in human language. A wrong action attributable to bad judgment or ignorance or inattention. He made a bad mistake. Identify incorrectly. Don't mistake her for her twin sister. An understanding of something that is not correct. He wasn't going to admit his mistake. Part of a statement that is not correct. To make a mistake or be incorrect. A wrong action attributable to bad judgment or ignorance or inattention. I could understand his English in spite of his grammatical faults. An imperfection in an object or machine. The quality of being inadequate or falling short of perfection. He knew his own faults much better than she did. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. They built it right over a geological fault. Put or pin the blame on. Electronics. Equipment failure attributable to some defect in a circuit, loose connection or insulation failure or short circuit, etc. It took much longer to find the fault than to fix it. Responsibility for a bad situation or event. It was John's fault. Sports. A serve that is illegal, e.g., that lands outside the prescribed area. He served too many double faults. A misconception resulting from incorrect information. A wrong action attributable to bad judgment or ignorance or inattention. She was quick to point out my errors. Baseball. A failure of a defensive player to make an out when normal play would have sufficed. Inadvertent incorrectness. Part of a statement that is not correct. The book was full of errors. Departure from what is ethically acceptable. Computer science. The occurrence of an incorrect result produced by a computer. Refuse to acknowledge. Give little or no attention to. Bar from attention or consideration. Willful lack of care and attention. Lack of attention and due care. Failure to act with the prudence that a reasonable person would exercise under the same circumstances. Fail to do something. Leave something undone. Give little or no attention to. The trait of neglecting responsibilities and lacking concern. The state of something that has been unused and neglected. The house was in a terrible state of neglect. Willful lack of care and attention. Leave undone or leave out. Lack of attention and due care. Fail to attend to. He neglects his children. The state of something that has been unused and neglected. Omission or suppression of parts of words or sentences. A deliberate act of omission. Omission of a sound between two words, usually a vowel and the end of one word or the beginning of the next. Linguistics. Omission at the beginning of a word as in coon, for, raccoon, or till, for, until. A procedure in which blood is drawn and separated into its components by dialysis. Some are retained and the rest are returned to the donor by transfusion. Omission or suppression of parts of words or sentences. The gradual disappearance of an initial, usually unstressed, vowel or syllable as in, squire, for, esquire. Linguistics. Omission at the beginning of a word as in, coon, for, raccoon, or, till, for, until. A person with a record of failing. Someone who loses consistently. Inability to discharge all your debts as they come due. Fraudulent loans led to the failure of many banks. An act that fails. His failure to pass the test. An event that does not accomplish its intended purpose. The surprise party was a complete failure. An unexpected omission. He resented my failure to return his call. Lack of success. He felt that his entire life had been a failure. Loss of ability to function normally. Kidney failure. Letting pass without notice. A deliberate act of omission. With the exception of the children, everyone was told the news. An instance that does not conform to a rule or generalization. All her children were brilliant. The only exception was her last child. Grounds for adverse criticism. His authority is beyond exception. The act of forcing out someone or something. A deliberate act of omission. The state of being excommunicated. The state of being excluded. An unintentional omission resulting from failure to notice something. The trait of forgetting or ignoring your responsibilities. A mistake resulting from inattention. An unintentional omission resulting from failure to notice something. Management by overseeing the performance or operation of a person or group.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.